For the stuffing, you'll need some chopped pecans, dried cherries, minced garlic, fresh sage leaves, leeks, a mixture of diced carrots and bell peppers, a loaf of French bread, olive oil, vegan butter, an apple, and vegetable stock. So we're using leeks today for our stuffing, and that's just because I really like leeks. They kind of remind me of Thanksgiving. I think they go really well with sage. And you want to remove sort of the leathery paper skin, and you only want to use the white part and the light green part, and then we're just going to chop it up finely. So we can get rid of this big stalk right here and cut off that right here. In addition to the leeks, you're also going to dice up one Granny Smith apple. Alright, so it's really hard to cut stale bread with a knife, so your hands are a better instrument. For stuffing, you generally want to use bread that's a little stale, so maybe buy bread the day before. I'm just using a regular French bread baguette, but if you want to get fancy, you can use a multi-grain baguette, you can use a miche, you can use a sourdough, possibly. Here we have 6 cups of torn up stale bread. If you have a bread knife, definitely use it, but if you don't, you can just use your hands to rip up the bread. To start the stuffing, we'll heat up some vegan butter and olive oil in a saucepan. And once it's all melted, you'll saute the diced leeks, carrots, bell peppers, and sage. Next, just pour in the vegetable stock and let that mixture cook for a few more minutes. Now that the leek mixture has finished cooking, we're going to add our stale bread to a casserole pan. I'm also going to add some dried cherries and some pecans, and you can use dried cranberries if you prefer. I don't want the stuffing to be very sweet, so I'm using dried cherries that are unsweetened because they're a lot less sweet than cranberries. Adding dried fruit adds a nice little chewy bite, which gives you a contrasting texture. Then I'm adding some toasted pecans. You can use any nut you like. A walnut would be really good as well. You can prepare your stuffing in advance up to this point. To store it overnight, just cover the bread mixture with foil and transfer the vegetable mixture to an airtight container. When you're ready to bake the stuffing on Thanksgiving, just pour the vegetable mixture on top of the bread and add a few spoons of vegetable stock to add back some moisture. Then you'll tightly wrap the pan in foil and bake it in a preheated oven at 350 degrees Fahrenheit or 175 degrees Celsius. After 30 minutes, take the foil off and bake it for another 10 to 15 minutes until it's golden brown.